Well, we're definitely well overdue for a video, and to my audience, I apologize for allowing there to be so much time that's gone by between videos. If you saw the last one, it was the CBS interview in which we announced that we're filing a bombshell federal lawsuit against big tech, and it's a lot of companies, and it's going to be a lot of lawsuits, and it's going to be a lot of money, time, expense, both personal, financial. I mean, you name it, it's going to cost me. Relationships. I'll probably be barred from half of the woke corporations. Like, not that I would shop there, but I definitely won't be allowed into Target or the Nike stores anymore, but I don't wear that stuff anyway. So anyway, moving along, we've got to sue them because they're controlling the world, and if you think I'm overstating the case, you're wrong. And I also recognize how bad the odds are. If you took every grain of sand from every beach in the world, let's say, and made a pile and took one grain from it, I'm about that size of that one grain in comparison to these companies that I'm suing, but it doesn't matter. What they've underestimated and don't know is that in fighting spirit, tenacity, and the fact that I just won't give up, I'm the other pile. I'm the big pile. So, I'm suing them. End of story. We'll start with Facebook for simplicity purposes. They control the world, let's say, which they do. They control the information. They control what people believe, see, think, say, can say, will say, don't say. The list goes on. They say fact check it, and then they're teamed up with, let's say, Google, and Google says, yeah, it's correct. They post it on Facebook, and they're like, ha, conservative fact checked you, you're wrong. No, just because your other friend backs you up doesn't make it correct. Fact makes fact. There's not one truth or two truths. There's the truth, okay? There's not six truths. There's only the truth, the actual truth. Okay, let's not mince words here. They've convinced you of otherwise. So, when you can shut off the voice of the politician who's running for office that opposes the voice of the politician who you want to win, and get them defeated because of that, and install that person into power, you control the world. When you can suppress all the bad information about a bad candidate, but it's your candidate, and suppress all the good information about a good candidate that's not your candidate, you control the world. When you do that in the most powerful country in the world, like the US, and suppress all the bad information about the Biden family, like their criminal business dealings with China, Burisma, the Ukraine, you get them elected, and you control the world. Because when you can get the leader of the most powerful country in the world elected, again, you control the world. It doesn't take rocket science to figure this out. We have to take accountability. We have given them too much power, okay? They think they run the world, which they don't. They think they run the country, which they don't, because we never elected them. We elect politicians to run the country and serve us well. They don't. We need to fire them. That's a separate topic. But they think that we need them, and it's not the case. I assure you that if Facebook permanently deleted you right here, right now, you would be perfectly fine forever. In fact, you'd probably be better off in a few months or a few weeks. They've done it to me. I got over it very quickly. The only reason you might still see me there is because I make them work. They shut me down. I make a new profile. I dance around the algorithms and make them chase me, and I irritate them, and it's a fun game. And it costs them money, because every time they have to do it, it costs them a penny. But so what? A penny's a penny. I pick pennies up in the parking lot of the gas station. I don't need to. I like to, because you put them in a jar, and at the end of the year, it's a lot of money. Anyway, I digress. They don't control the world. They think they have all the power, but they don't. We've got to take it back. We've got to show them that we don't need them, they need us. And maybe, just maybe, then they'll start telling the truth and allowing the actual information to surface. Information like they're criminals, the Bidens. Information like this guy smokes Parmesan cheese and that's just weird. And he won't admit that he smokes crack with hookers and underage girls, maybe. And throws guns in dumpsters and lies on federal forms and doesn't go to jail. But why? Maybe stuff like that will start coming out. Maybe they'll stop suppressing political candidates that help the United States and stop supporting political candidates who only wish to hurt us, because there's been a deal struck. between the radical left and the mainstream media and the Silicon Valley tech tyrants. And they've basically said, get us elected, throw us into office, and when we get there, we'll let you all do whatever you want, and we'll, rule on favorable legislation. Well, I've got news for you. That's the government that works for us, that we hire, that's supposed to serve us well, and they use our tax dollars to create these laws which allow them to do this, and then say, oh, well, we're a private company, we can do this. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So we're here to stop that. I don't care, again, about the odds. We need to start talking about things like the fact that the Clintons know just about everybody who, exposes them and then gets depressed and kills themselves by shooting themselves in the back with a rifle at long range, hurls themselves off a cliff, hits the ground at terminal velocity, but in the air they've slit their throat, cut their wrists, and when they hit the ground at terminal velocity, they get up with broken bones, get into a school bus, jam the gas pedal down with a 2x4, run around it while the tires are spinning, and then run themselves over. Because they committed suicide. Because just before they committed suicide, they said that Bill Clinton was on the Lolita Express like every other day with Jeffrey Epstein flying to St. James, which is the creepy island that Epstein owned that was home to all the abducted minors that were raped and murdered and tortured and whatever else. It makes me sick. And the fact that it's gotten buried makes the people that buried it just as sick. If you did that to somebody that I knew, or one of my kids, you would never hear the end of it. I would never stop looking for them or you and seeking justice. The world would know about it. I would make sure of it, and you'd have to kill me to shut me up. Maybe that's why we don't hear about it. I don't know. But I find it strikingly odd that it's happened to so many people and we hear so little about it. But it does, because it doesn't suit their narrative. It doesn't get them elected. It doesn't keep them into power. I find it very, very, very concerning that these people feel that the law does not apply to them. We need to start talking about it. We need to take the power back. And by the way, now that we have a president who says things like, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women are created equal with that. We the people, man. Yeah, that's it. We the people thing. Man. All right, I got to go. I'm going to get in trouble. I got Jill and Nance over there. Now that we've got that, other world leaders are either concerned or ready to pounce because they see the weakness. This guy doesn't know what the hell is going on. This is arguably the most important line of the Declaration of Independence that he butchers, and then he bookends it with the beginning of the Constitution. My 5-year-old knows the difference and could recite it better. So here you go, Joe. We hold these truths self-evident that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. And this is the important part, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That means God gave us rights that can't be taken away, the ones that you're trying to take. Like the pursuit of happiness, freedom of speech, that stuff. Freedom of speech is happiness for some people. And then you go on to say things like this, that no amendment is absolute, that the second isn't meant to defend against tyranny. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. They said it. It's in plain English. And yes, you could own a cannon, and you still can own a cannon if you'd like. But then you say, hey, if you think it's for that, or unless you think, it's for the tree of liberty that needs to be watered with the blood of deer that have Kevlar vests, you moron, and that it's not to defend against tyranny. If you try it, we'll bomb you, and you'll need airplanes that have bombs on them that you paid for. What a stupid thing to say. Americans ain't gonna put up with that, Joe. And we're gonna fight back if you try that. You threaten to use our own military against us. I would hope that no military commander would give those orders, because there's no oath, remember, Joe, to defend, protect, and uphold the rule of Joe or what you say. It's the Constitution. Let's not forget about that. So we've got a president who doesn't know the Declaration. He doesn't know the Constitution. He doesn't know what time of day it is. he really doesn't know what's going on. He's always going to get in trouble with somebody. So we need to take the power back, take this country back. We're not a racist country. We're the greatest country on the face of this earth. And we are suing big tech to level the playing field. We're going to also, by the way, while we're doing this, give you another platform to go to. I'm going to figure out an office to run for. I don't know which one it'll be, but it'll be the one where I can have the greatest impact in helping this country restore itself. So until next time, if I disappear, look at the Clintons and God bless America. That's how you end the speech, Joe. God bless America. Be well, everyone.